What's going on, guys? Dujo here, coming at you guys with a brand new video. In this video today, it's going to be episode 3 of assembling Irwin's 1000 horsepower N54. So basically right now we actually are cleaning the clutch, getting his twin disc ready to be put in. A little bit of work off camera, but we actually got the subframe off. Irwin put the engine on. I think we had some of the accessories on in the last episode, but we took one off because he's going to swap it out. We're going to take one from my old engine and put it on there.
We took it off because it was hitting the subframe without the transmission on. It was pulling the engine forward. And I actually broke the pulley. Show him the broken pulley.
As you guys can see.
I broke the pulley because the engine sat on it.
So not a big deal. I got another one at my house.
Clean it up.
I also didn't get any footage of it, but we pushed Irwin's car into the garage. As you can see, it's on the hoist. Oh, look at that. We got the front bumper off, radiator off, his front 2 headlights. We got some braking oil back there. Wait, no, that's not braking oil.
That's the rinsing oil.
The rinsing oil?
I'm rinsing it out with that quick. Castrol GTX mineral oil 1040. Just a 10-minute rinse. Get her up to warm, the operating temperature, and then after that we're going to be running Lucas 30 weight braking oil. You can run Lucas, Joe Gibbs, anything with high zinc for the first 1,000 kilometers. And then after that we're switching just to our regular Castrol 540. Anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and put it on. You're going to want to start by putting 10 of them in. Eat every other one first, just so you can get the plate pushed back, so you can get the spring pushed. If we didn't mention it, guys, the flywheel we torqued down to 88 foot-pounds, and then the pressure plate gets torqued down to 18 Newton meters. That's specific for this pressure plate. Yours may vary. We went with the 9-inch twin disc ceramic, unsprung. So it's going to be a pretty harsh ride.
Extra stiff. As you guys remember in my video, I went with the 8-inch.
8-inch sprung ceramic.
Sprung
so
ceramic.
Same material, but
we had to do some modifying to Irwin's new steel braided drain line because it was actually a little bit too long, so we just cut it down a little bit so that it could fit onto the turbo and we can keep the drain on the turbo at 12 o'clock, as you see. Now we actually are trying to get the engine inside the car. Irwin's moving a couple things around back there. So just a couple things are getting it stuck. we didn't mention was Erwin's actually doing fully custom intercooler piping. Here's just a little mock-up, but it's gonna be full custom intercooler piping down to his intercooler here, down to his intercooler on this side.
I did to get rid of that ugly hard line that goes from the vacuum pump to the brake booster. Show them, we cut this, took the fitting out. There's two fittings. One goes to the brake booster, the other one on the vacuum pump, and then there's a T that has a vacuum source over here. Basically, we cut these fittings out, and then you buy some 3/8 inner diameter hose, reinforced hose. So it's just basically put these fittings on, and then you can tuck the line
However you want,
yeah,
right? You're gonna go
so
underneath.
it doesn't have there. Yeah, we're going under.
It's gonna look a lot better.
Cleaner. Bottom half done, so basically there's a couple wires, there's a couple plugs going onto the rack and pinion, there's a couple down there for the AC, a bunch of sensors, we got those down there, they're in a really tight spot. We're working our way up, we got most of the stuff on here, like the starter, the alternator, and all the like the knock sensors and the fuel pressure sensors and all that stuff, we got all that on. A couple of these loose hoses, like for example, this is going to the throttle body, we're going to put that in. We'll put the intake manifold on. We got a couple other loose ones for the T-map and the mass airflow sensor. But we're going to be putting those on when we put the intake manifold on. Being on the heat shield. So we're going to be putting a heat shield on. We have it in the car right now. We're going to bring it out. But it's going to be covering the coils. I just want to line that up first.
So what's Ali doing with the...
Ali, he's going to be doing solid piping basically. Just hose clamps at the joints, but he's welding onto the intercooler. He's doing pie cuts, 90-degree angle up to a straight 3-inch.
Why are you going? Why are you welding instead of just going?
Usually the on-3 stuff comes with really crappy equipment, so we wanted to make it as firm as possible and as secure as possible to hold that high boost, high horsepower.
So it has to do with the boost, right? So that's
well, yeah, the more boost you run, the more pressure, like the more strain there is on the system.
So you want to have as less couplers.
Yeah, we shouldn't. When you're running above 40 psi, around 40 psi, you shouldn't even be using silicone couplers.
Okay.
Just V-bends or HD clamps.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to finish it up overnight, so we're throwing it together. We're mainly doing welded joints and stuff like that, but we're using the silicone couplers when we need them.
She did remove his stock shifter. I don't know if you guys know, he went with the Dynan short shifter.
I know, guys. Usually people are going with the RTD.
It's more common that you see RTD, but it's actually a really great shifter, short shifter. And
the Dynan, yeah. It's up to 25% shorter throws. But shift rod basically. It eliminates the factory one. Just goes. It's a one-sided one.
Yeah.
This is double. It's supposed to give it a more firm. If you're installing the Dynan one towards the
driver's
so you get
side.
the bend. Yeah, rear driver's side. First, we're gonna lock this. To lock the bushing in place, it's basically a push in and then turn counterclockwise. Right here. So right now, guys, we're throwing on all the accessories on the manifold. I'm putting on the hop switch. That's for the stage 3 fuel pump. I'm putting on all our boost taps. Woo-wee.
See that?
Let it outside to cool.
Port injector plugs, because I'm not using the port injection off of the at Phoenix Racing Kit, I'm using a BMP plate. Particular reason for why. I could just put the injectors in the manifold and run it like that, but I have the plate and I'm using it.
Ooh. She wants to start up.
I think that one is connected, that one cylinder.
Is that why it made that noise?
Yeah. Where's the screwdriver?
Yeah, you're not leaking.
I think something's still connected.
You have no coolant.
She's still spinning.
Where's all that?
It's for the smoke.
Yeah.
It's the turbo.
That doesn't smell like it. Something's burning.
Is something burning?
No, it's normal. There's no oil, right?
Something's
So,
smoking.
because the injectors weren't coated, it was having a rude misfire, but it ran. It starts.
Mazel tov.
Woo!
Alright.
Nice work. So as you just saw, that was the first startup on Irwin's N54, fully built N54. It was misfiring because it's still in the stock ECU, like no tune on it. We didn't code the injectors or anything, so it was just misfiring a little bit, but we're glad to see it's running and it's sounding good. My phone's just going off here. So basically we now brought Irwin's car to his house. He got it towed, so we're not at the shop anymore. And as you saw, we just are doing some more customizing with the charge piping and the intercooler, because Ali did a full custom setup for him. And then we just have to do a couple more things, dress it up. After the charge pipe, we have to code the injectors, put the base map tune on it, plug in the port injector split second controller, hook up the coolant reservoir, a couple more things.
Intercooler clamps on, two both clamps. Or sorry, my intercooler piping, my cold side piping.
They haven't seen the catch can system you did,
Yeah,
and
the VTT. So basically what we got, guys, is we got a high and low side catch can system. We plugged off the head ports. We got the low side, I think the low side is running to the vacuum on the throttle body. So it's pulling vacuum. That's always good to have your PCV system pulling vacuum. You don't want to just have it vented to atmosphere, although that's better. Breather's better than nothing, but I got the high side on a breather. As you can see, it's coming 10 AN lines on the high side, 8 AN on the low side.
really nice line.
Yeah. I don't know if it's low side or high side.
We'll double check.
Yeah. So yeah, we got the AN line, stainless steel fittings. We also got the blow off valve on a braided line. It's really good, guys, when you get a manifold to just go fittings. You don't need those barbed fittings anymore. Just go proper like AN lines or like a threaded fitting. It's always better, more secure of a connection.
So what are you gonna do with your coolant reservoir too?
So basically, guys, what I did is I got a Volkswagen coolant reservoir. This one's from like a 2005 Golf. They're all the same, honestly. It's a little ball. It fits really nicely. I want to have these two areas here clean, so I'm gonna put that there, and it's really good because it mounts. It's like the OEM expansion tank. It has one nipple on the bottom and one on the top that goes back to the reservoir over here.
Nice.
So
So there's it's welded to the throttle body.
you can get it more.
You could see it, don't worry. And then there's the coupler, straight coupling on the intercooler.
Charge pipe.
Sorry, the charge pipe.
So we just finished coating up the injectors with Pro Tool. It's pretty easy. Now we're flashing. There's 2 licenses you have to buy if you're flashing it with a custom map. You're going to need the M Boost license, and you're going to need the flashing license. Those 2. Right now it's 13-14%, 6 minutes left. It's not a long flash, but this is going to be my base map, 93 octane.
Glenn?
I don't know. Sounds okay.
You think it's ready to take it for a drive?
Yeah, after we let it warm up one time, do a first heat cycle, I'm going to dump the oil and then put the bumper on, and then we're going to take it for a drive. Check for leaks and shit. Fuel leaks for the port direction and everything.
Alright guys, so we just turned it off so you could actually hear what Erwin has to say.
Well, first impressions, it wasn't sounding all that good. We noticed that there was a little spark coming from the braided oil drain line to the frame. That was no good, guys. When I noticed that, we stopped the car right away, and I tried to look around to see what would be causing that. Mainly in my head was there has to be some, like a power line touching the chassis or ground somewhere. So we looked around. I actually noticed that the blow-off line, because I did go with a braided blow-off line.
Do you take the flash up a little bit?
The blow-off line is actually touching the starter power prong socket, whatever it is. It's down there, and the braided line is touching it, and that's grounding this whole. Basically, the whole engine is grounded because it's going through the charge.
So what do you want to do about it?
Well, I'm gonna put some electrical tape around it, and then put a little insulator there. But if that doesn't work, I guess I'll just put that little section back to silicone line. But I think the electrical tape and insulator should help it.
Okay. So I hope you guys just enjoyed that video of all the work we got done of getting the engine actually in Erwin's car, getting it started up. It was quite a process, but we got it done. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been Dujo. More content's coming for the first drive. See you guys in the next one.